For the scenario that you're looking at in the online lab, there's 3 different alleles. There is a yellow allele, there's a red allele, and then there's also a blue allele. And every individual in the population is going to get 2 of those. And depending on which 2 they get, they're going to have a different look to them or be a different color. So these are your alleles. And if we think about the different genotypes, which happen to be the same as the phenotypes in this case, because each phenotype has a different genotype, there are some that are yellow. Individuals that are yellow actually have 2 copies of the yellow allele, so I'm going to call this one just Y. There are some that are red. The red ones have 2 copies of the red allele, so I'm going to give them 2 R's. And then there's also some that are blue, and the blue ones would have 2 copies of the blue allele. Okay, so that part all should make some sense. Now we also have some orange individuals. The orange get 1 copy of yellow, and they also have 1 copy of red, and that's what makes them orange. There are some purple individuals. The purple get 1 copy of red and 1 copy of blue. And then we also have green. And the green individuals have 1 yellow and 1 blue. Okay, so that's where the different alleles are coming together to make the different phenotypes or genotypes that you see in the simulation. Now, if we're looking at something and it's asking us to come up with the genotype frequencies, so if I just write that here so we have something to analyze. If, for instance, you have a total population of, say, 100 individuals, and we'll say that 12 of them are yellow, let's say 22 happen to be orange, and so on. If I want to find the genotypic frequency of yellow, all I have to do is take the yellow. There's 12 of them, divide them by 100, and that's going to give me a frequency of 0.12 or 12%. We could do the same thing with orange if we want to know the frequency of that. We would take 22, divide it by 100, and that's going to give us 0.22 or 22% frequency for the orange ones. And you would go through and you would do that for each one of the colors. Now, if we talk now about the allele frequency. If we have a population, I'm just going to change the color so we can distinguish what I'm writing now a little bit better. Okay, so we have 100 individuals here, and if there's 100 individuals, each individual has 2 alleles. So there's a number of alleles that's actually going to be 200. So that's our denominator, or what we're going to be dividing by in this case. Now, if we want to know the frequency of the yellow allele, for example, I would look here and I see that I've got 12 individuals that are yellow, but each one of those 12 has 2 copies of yellow because we said yellow is YY. So I've got 12 times 2, again, because each one of those individuals has 2 copies, plus these orange individuals also have some yellow in them. So we've got 22 orange individuals, but that one I'm only going to multiply by 1 because orange has 1 copy of yellow right there. So I would add these together. So this is 24 and then we've got 22. So if we add that together, I've got 46, and that's the total number of alleles that are yellow, and we have a total allele of 200. So I'm going to take 200 there, and then you would divide that out, and that's going to give you the frequency of the yellow allele. So if we divide that out, I think that comes out to 23% or 0.23. You would go through and you do the same thing for the red alleles if we wanted to figure them out. So just to give us another scenario to work through real quickly here, suppose in the same population, I've already given you these numbers, but suppose that we've got 34 that are red, and maybe I've got 10 purple. Okay, so if we want to figure out the frequency of the red allele, I'm just going to write it up here at the top. We've got 34 individuals that are red, And so each one of them has 2 copies of the red allele. So I'm multiplying it by 2. Plus we've got the purple individuals, and there's 10 of those, and the purple have 1 copy of the red allele. So I'm going to multiply that by 1. And then, so we go through, this is going to be 68, and we've got 10 over here, so we've got a total of 78. And again, we're dividing that by the 200 number that we came up with down here. And then when you do the math on that, that'll give you the frequency of the red allele. When you get ready to do the blue allele frequency, you would have to look at the individuals that are blue and the individuals that are green, and that would give you the number for that one. I hope this helps you get started going through the lab and really breaks it down a little bit further than the equations that you were looking at before.